All right, here we go. You are going to be writing equations for either graphs, tables, or between 2 points. Let's start with the level 2s. No matter what, my equation always has to be in this form, y equals mx plus b. If you can raise your hand and tell me what this form is called, you can get a piece of candy. All right, first things first, you might want to start with finding the slope. That's what we've been doing longest. So I'm going to scan for the first clean point. Bing, bada, boom, right here. And then I can keep going, and my intercept is already marked. So first, I'm going to find the slope. So I'm going to run first to the right, which is 1. And then I'm going to move down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. Since I went down, it's negative 6. So when I run, always goes on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and put in my format, though. So I know I have y equals, leave a space for the slope, and an x. So I'm going to put in the slope. The 1 goes on the bottom, the negative 6 on the top. Remember, this could also just simplify to be negative 6. Now, I need to find my y-intercept. I'm not going to put a plus or minus yet, because if it's a negative y-intercept, it's a subtraction problem. So I look down the y-axis to see where they cross, kind of like a road. They cross right here, and that's at a negative 3. So since it's negative, I'm going to subtract. So here is my equation. Y equals negative 6x minus 3. Okay? Remember, it could also look like this. If you go one step further and simplifying. Simplifying always helps you, especially when we're matching. Now I'm going to do the same kind of thing, but with my table. Again, find the slope, the m first. 0 to 8 is increasing by 8. 4 to 8 is increasing by 4. Now I'm going to write it as my fraction. This time I'm going to do it down here, and I'm going to put the simplified version. So it's 4 over 8, or both of those can be divided by 4. So divide the top by 4, we get 1. Divide the bottom by 4, we get 2. So 4/8 is the same as 1/2. I'm going to put that 1/2 the same place the m would be, so right next to the x. So y equals, this time instead of the m, I'm going to put my slope, 1/2. Okay, x. Now I'm not going to do a plus or minus yet until I find the y-intercept. So I find where x is 0 in this top row, and its y partner, the 4, that's the y-intercept. It's positive, so I am going to add it. Should be pretty simple. You found the y-intercepts of graphs and tables. You found the slope. Now you're just putting them together. Here's for the tricky one. Still, I want it in this format. Easy to find the slope for these 2 points. We've been doing it. Make our xy table. Remember, first points, those are your x values. So the 3 and 5 are what I'm going to compare. Then I'm going to compare this 7 and the 11. So to get from 3 to 5, I'm increasing by 2. To get from 7 to 11, I'm increasing by 4. Again, I'm going to write my slope down. So 4 over 2, that can be simplified. 4 can be divided by 2, so that's going to end up just being 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. That's my slope. So I would put that in the place of my m. That's what it's replacing. Now, if I look at both points, this one, definitely not a y-intercept because x is 3. This one, definitely not a y-intercept because x is 5. I don't have the y-intercept, so I'm actually going to have to solve for it. You do have x and y values, okay? Both of these are x and y values. So after you find the slope, the second step is to pick a point to plug in. Either one works. I always pick smaller numbers and ones that aren't negative. That way I don't have to use my negative rules. So this 7, that goes in for the y. and the 3 is going to go in for the x. Remember, a number right next to a letter is being multiplied. So I'm going to do 7 equals 2 times 3. And then my variable, what I don't know, is the b. And now this is where I'm going to solve. So simplify. 2 times 3 is 6 plus b, and it still equals 7. Now this is easy. This is just a one-step cloud because there's nothing by the b. So b, I'm adding 6 to get to the 7. So on the bottom, I would subtract 6. 7 minus 6 equals 1. So I found what my b or my y-intercept is, so I would put that number in. Now I'm going to rewrite it nice and clean. Y equals 2x plus 1. Okay? This is your final answer, the equation between 2 points. Step 1, find the slope. Step 2, pick out a point to plug in. Step 3, solve for x or solve for b. And step 4, your last step, write it as an equation. Okay? That's the 4 steps that you have to take to get there. You guys want to meet June? Julie! Julie, come here. Say hi. Have a good one.